Copiun is a software company offering an endpoint data protection solution. In a recent chat with Puneesh Chaudhry, the company's co-founder and CEO, I gained a greater appreciation for Copiun's solution. Hello, Puneesh, and welcome.
Thanks, Laura. It's a pleasure to be here.
Protecting endpoint data presents some unique challenges, and there are many approaches to executing endpoint data backup. Maybe you could spend a few minutes providing an overview of Copiun's approach to endpoint data management and protection.
Sure. Before I go into our approach, I wanted to just touch on some of the customer feedback we've got, that there's a lot of data living on endpoints out there, and there are indications that will only increase because laptops and mobile endpoints are rapidly becoming the majority in companies. And local endpoint storage, when you look at that, outperforms network storage by an order of magnitude when you compare them on both capacity and performance access. Also, disconnected access for these mobile users is a major requirement because they're increasingly working remote and disconnected. So today, we're now in a situation where there's a lot of data that lives on endpoints outside the data center. And IT has really very little control over this data. Today, if you ask CIOs, the following questions, chances are you wouldn't find too many good answers. So if you ask them, can you recover data if a PC crashes or is lost or stolen? Or can you do a rapid risk assessment if a laptop is lost or stolen? Or if a general counsel walks in and says, I want to perform a federated search across all the PC data for either e-discovery or internal forensics, chances are you wouldn't find too many good answers. So at Copiun, we see this as a data management problem. Our approach to solving this problem is simple. We want to enable IT to regain full control of this valuable corporate data with an easy-to-manage solution without impacting the end user. So what we do is we pull all the data seamlessly into a private cloud without requiring any user action, essentially creating a database of every file by every user in the company that has ever been created. Then we enable a whole bunch of services on top. Self-service recovery for your end users, risk assessment and federated search for your authorized users, and providing endpoint users ubiquitous access to their data regardless of whether they have their laptops with them or not.
That's great. Thank you. As I stated earlier, there are many solutions available. How is Copiun's solution different from the others in the market today?
So we've focused on building a solution from the ground up to effectively manage data for a large number of distributed and mobile endpoints. And it's designed for IT, designed with IT in mind. So in talking to customers, we realized that there's several things you need to get right in order to do this. And it's basically four main things. Number one, just drastically reduce the amount of data that is stored and transmitted from the endpoints. Our patent-pending object-based deduplication technology does precisely that. Then, ease of management for a large number of PCs, which are perhaps the most volatile piece of IT equipment in the company, is critical. Then, since you have so many end users, not requiring any end user action or training or behavior change for the solutions deployment is critical. And then finally, being able to handle a large number of remote, mobile, and intermittently connected users, many of whom are frequently not connecting via VPN, is critical. So we at Copiun, we're focused on doing a really good job with these four things.
So data deduplication is something that IT has become more familiar with. Maybe you could provide some information about the specific deduplication approach that Copiun has.
Sure. We all know that data deduplication, or dedupe as we all affectionately call it, is hot. It's everywhere. Everyone wants it because there's just a lot of duplicate data floating around in companies. So Copiun's deduplication approach has two unique characteristics. It's global, so you save on both storage and bandwidth. And second part is it's object-based, which is the next generation of deduplication, as it solves two major limitations of block-level deduplication. Number one is finding common embedded data across a large number of unrelated files. And second, achieving dedupe even when the physical layout of a file changes, as often happens when documents are edited. And we all know that's the Achilles heel of block-level dedupe. But let's take a simple example. It's your company logo. The logo object is probably stored in millions of documents within your company at a lot of different places. It's in PowerPoint presentations, it's in Word documents, it's probably stored as part of multiple attachments within PSD files, and who knows where else. Block level deduplication simply can't find the logo object across these potentially millions of files because it is stored in a different place in each document. Copiun's object-based deduplication focuses on identifying logical objects like images, slides, rather than just random storage blocks. So this enables us to detect the common logo object across millions of unrelated files anywhere in the company. And we store and transmit it only once per file type. And the same technology applies to slides, images, audio-video objects, PSD file attachments, PDF embedded objects, and like. So this ensures tremendous savings, both for the first backup, as we're able to detect a lot of embedded common data across completely unrelated files, and also for subsequent forever incremental backups, as we can detect common logical objects even if the physical layout changes.
So Copiun really stands out because it provides endpoint users and administrators with the environment that they want. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit more about the end user and administrator experience.
Sure, Lauren. We subscribe to the same point of view as you do, that there are really two sides to the challenge of managing corporate data on the endpoints, IT and end users. A good solution needs to meet the needs of both parties, or it will drive dysfunctional behavior in at least one of them. So at Copiun, we really strive to meet the needs of both IT and end users. Now let me tell you how. From an IT perspective, when you're an administrator managing a large number of endpoints, the biggest thing on your plate is ease of management, automation, and robustness, because you're managing a large number of endpoints. So the examples of that are, there are a lot of environmental errors on PCs on a day-to-day basis, like connectivity loss, system shutdown, the end user could kill the agent. These result in a lot of false negatives on a daily basis, and they can be a real management nightmare. Copiun fingerprints such errors and handles them automatically, providing both reliability and ease of management. Another thing Copiun does is it allows administrators to define a service level, and then the software manages it automatically, freeing the admin from day-to-day management across thousands of PCs. It's again an example of automation providing reliability and ease of management. The other thing is there's no schedule management. Managing schedules across a large, ever-changing PC population can be a logistics nightmare. Copiun saves you from that. It auto-manages and balances the schedules so admins don't have to worry about it. In addition to those, a policy-based interface, seamless installation and update across a large number of PCs without requiring any end-user action, and automated recovery testing are other key features that make the lives of administrators really easy. But let's come back to the end users, the other side of the equation. For the end users, our goal is very simple. The end user should be able to derive the full power of Copiun without ever noticing Copiun on their system. There, I said it. We don't want end users to ever notice our product. How do we do it? We achieve this by focusing on two things. Number one, an invisible and non-intrusive agent. You know, we've all had bad experiences with aggressive agents taking over our PCs. We're trying to get our work done and something just takes over our PC. Our agent is designed to completely halt itself when the user is using their PC. There is nothing more important than what the user is currently doing. Therefore, we never become active while the user is using the PC. And if in the middle of a backup and the user starts using the PC, we'll just stop. The second thing that we've done is it's a completely native interface. There is no new application or interface that you need to train your end users on. Everything they need is integrated into familiar tools like Explorer and Windows Search. So you enable your end users to perform self-service recovery via native full-text search built into the operating system.
Great, thank you. Remote and mobile workers are increasing, and they're infrequently connected to the network. So can you tell us about the optimizations that you have for VPN-less backup and multi-site recovery?
Sure. That's actually a key thing that a lot of customers have asked for. So happy to talk about it. In talking to customers, we're hearing that the end users are increasingly remote, mobile, and frequently not connected to the corporate network via VPN. So today, in order to back up these users, customers are forced to use drastic measures like, opening up firewall ports, or worse, put the backup server in the DMZ outside the firewall, both of which are a huge security risk. Copiun provides a constant access gateway option, which allows secure and ongoing backup for remote and mobile users, even when they're not on the VPN. And we can do this without opening any incoming firewall ports or putting the server outside the firewall in the DMZ. Another frequent request from customers, especially the enterprise ones with multiple sites, is that they want a distributed recovery model, where the remote sites can recover the data over the LAN, even though all backups are centralized at the main site. So we have an option called the cache server, which is a lightweight software that you can install in any local IT equipment at that site, and it enables rapid local recovery at LAN speed for the remote sites while still retaining the full benefit of centralized data at the main site.
Great. Thanks, Puneesh. And thank you very much for spending the time with me. Good luck with Copiun.
Thanks for having me.